to what we've already given up.
Welcome back to the Homestead Hooker. It's been a few months. Gonna catch up on a whole lot of stuff. There'll be lots of cuts and splices and pictures and talking and books and crochet, and I've got this. Watch me work. Wow, this little remote thingy works that came with my selfie stick. That's kind of cool. So, hi. So I've been catching little blitz and bleeps of what's going on in the garden to show you guys, because I did this big square foot gardening presentation for my Homestead ladies group. And so now I've got to follow through by building a square foot garden. And I'm a plant murderer. I don't try. I don't know if I talk to them wrong, if I touch them wrong, if I water them wrong. I mean, I've tried everything and I've read every book, and somehow I always manage to kill them. It's horrific. I got a hydroponic garden a couple months ago. And let me see if I can show it to you. See the hydroponic garden? Could you see that everything in it was dead? Except for the grass? Yeah, I can't even do it that way. So anyway, so I'm trying the square foot gardening, and I went all out. I did Mel's Mix. In spite of the outlay for the cost of the vermiculite to mix with the peat moss and the compost, I did 3 different kinds of compost. I have 32-inch galvanized steel raised beds. Okay. And you only need 6 inches of soil for Mel's Mix. So we have a lot of woods in the backyard. You've seen pictures of the backyard at this point. So we have a lot of woods in the backyard, and we've had a few windstorms, and dead limbs come down, trees come down. It just happens a lot. What do you want to bet some trees come down tonight? You see all that moving? And that's nothing. It's not even a strong gust right now. Okay, so what we did is we went through and picked up all that fallen wood and chopped it into bits and threw it in the bottoms of the 32-inch beds, and then we layered on top of that and threw that in that with straw until there was about 8 inches, maybe 10 inches left of space, and then we just filled that with Mel's Mix. And yes, we made sure the straw was clean. So I planted my cold crops the week of March 10th. I know that because March 10th was my birthday, and I planted them a couple of days before my birthday. My peas are coming up fabulously. Artichokes coming up. Look at my peas go. More peas. More artichoke. More peas. If you can barely see down in there, turnips. Peas. Rutabaga. Look at the carrots. And all along here we got rutabagas and onions coming up all over the place. And more and more and more. And I'm excited. My green beans are popping up. I've made little greenhouses for them. So you might recognize these as being pieces and parts of 2-liter bottles. And we don't drink soda pops, so I had all of my friends collecting their 2-liter bottles for me forever. I've got about 30 of them in there, and I cut them in half, and so that can go down on top of the plant for like the green beans and stuff before it freezes, because they're not supposed to suffer a freeze. But like the peas, the cabbage, the rutabaga, the radishes, the beets, those are all coming up. The artichokes, I planted artichokes, and the artichokes are coming up. So that looks really fabulous out there, and I'm really kind of proud of it. And I'll show you. It's over the course of a couple of weeks. The next video, this video that you're going to see, is cuts and splices of that, and I hope you enjoy it. Some of the drama that we had going on. We had a massive windstorm. I ran outside to get a picture of the trees blowing in the wind so that you could see it. And they were just blowing a little bit. It was after the last gust, and I got pictures of them moving. But then a big gust came in, and they like started bending over towards me, and I shut the camera off and ran in the house, and we ended up losing 3 trees in the backyard. And I probably missed one by, I don't know, somewhere between 25 and 50 yards. But it was enough to convince me to stay inside for the rest of the day. And you'll get to see some of that. Listen to my wind chime and the breeze. We took a trip to North Carolina to go to a health food co-op that I hadn't been to yet. And on the way, there is a pullout on the side of the road, rest stop. Not even really a rest stop, just a pullout. But that pullout had these stairs built in that like go all the way to the top of the mountain. It just looked like a hellacious scene out of one of the old kung fu movies or something, going up the mountain. And I had to get a picture of it so that you could see what a stairway to Appalachia looks like. Let's see, what else have I got here? I have some crochet projects that I've been working on or that I have finished for you to see. We do a lot of hooking here. There's crochet going on all the time. So take a look. I have sleeping puppies. I got a freeze dryer for Christmas. It came a little late. It came in January, so you haven't got to see it in work yet. But I got one of my batches that I freeze dried to show you because it's kind of phenomenal. We've got some companion planting stuff going on that I wanted to show you. I've got finishing up around the raised bed garden, keyhole garden, whatever you want to call it. So there was a leftover piece of lattice on the property, and so we hung that up there just so that when you're looking at because this is the front that faces the driveway of the garden, just so that when you're looking at it, it's a little bit prettier and it's something to use it for. And if I do plant something climby there, it can use that to climb on. So we've got the ends bent in now. You've got the view here, and I'll show you more after we get the nets up. Okay, so we've been talking about this garden. This is the first year setting it up. We've been doing everything in our power to have a functioning garden. So first it was collecting the raised beds. I took all the classes on square foot gardening. I read the book on square foot gardening. Cover to cover. I read about companion planting. I read about composting. The works. So one of the first things they said was plant a flower like zinnias away from your garden just a little ways, and it'll pull the bugs off your garden. So we are outside. This is the yard, and we come over here. There's the garden, and there is the zinnia bed, and then that bed next to it, that's sunflowers. That should help pull the bugs away. But if you keep going around here, that's our creepy orange tree. And there are apple trees and fruit cocktail trees, and that one going crazy there, that's the peach tree, and another fruit cocktail tree, and there's an elderberry bush, and that's our little baby orchard. So now the idea was to keep as many birds and deers as possible out of here, because our first 2 years gardens, we had marauding Angus come through and tromp everything into the ground that we planted in the ground, and then eat everything that we planted in the raised beds. So those were table type raised beds. This year we bought this type raised beds, and we put Mel's Mix in them, and see my garden gate, isn't it pretty? We put Mel's Mix in them, and so we had leftover wire that we put up to trellis, because that's peas and green beans. And then there's this netting that you can see that we put up. This is the halfway. It's still going to go over the top also, but it's starting to rain, so we need to stop for the day. There's the composter in the middle, and there's our 8 beds. And if you come over here, strawberry bed. So that's why the one isn't straight. It's kind of cock-wobbled. So there's that. And if you come around this side, you see the food safe 55-gallon barrel that is going to hold rainwater. And then we've got an automatic solar-powered pump drip system. So tomorrow we're going to be installing irrigation, basically drip irrigation for the beds, and hopefully getting the rest of the nets up. But that's what the nets look like so far, and I'll get back with you with more. I've got some clips of what it looks like to relax in Tennessee. And some other stuff I'll bop in. You know, some couple of things are just really pretty pictures that I couldn't help but take and wanted to show you. And you know, when you say you're gonna do a homesteading channel, there's like so much that goes into homesteading. There's, you know, growing a garden and raising animals and slaughtering and butchering animals and curing meat and preserving food and preserving vegetables. And there's freeze drying and dehydrating and canning and water bathing, and, you know, and there's the crochet, and there's the woodworking that my husband does. And He's done a lot, and there's just so much going on all the time. And this is how you say, fuck yeah. Because not only did I get the board meeting done, I came home and you mowed the yard and he's not even home yet. Yeah. One of the things I wanted to get in here was, I guess, just to remind you, because I have to remind myself sometimes, that it's such a goddamned wonderful life. And I really love the peace, and I love the relaxation when we have it, and I love the work. And every now and then when I'm hot or I'm tired or I'm sore, I forget to love it. And so I'm taking a second today to remind myself and maybe everybody else to love it. So anyway, I'm gonna throw all this stuff in there for you, and stay with me.
I can't believe we're holding on to what we've already given up. It's like we're pacing around the obvious. Separate lives, different stories, 2 out of 4 of us are all fed up. Well, you and I play with fire, but don't say nothing, or we're both busted. We'll get what's coming after you. No, don't say nothing, or bon voyage to rendezvous. Trade fights for better.